What's going on, guys? It's your boy Ethan. Hope you're having a great day. Today is a little bit of a bittersweet video for you guys. I literally, maybe 30 minutes ago, just busted out of one of the WSOP bracelet events. We final tabled, which is nice, but unfortunately ended up 9th. So yeah, maybe 30 minutes ago. Now we're back at the win, playing some 2-5 cash. The good thing about it is that with our buddies Justin, Wolfgang, and Mariano, we're trying to get on the same table. I think Mariano's going to be at my 2-5 table. I'm trying to get all the boys along and just kind of fuck around and have a good time. But we're starting up the session past midnight. We just grinded out 7-8 hours of 30 big blind online tournaments, and back in the cash game we go. Content grind doesn't stop. So if you like the videos, you want to help support the channel, trying to pump out as much videos and good content as I can for you guys, leave a like, hit that subscribe button. They're both free. And yeah, let's get into it. A little bit bittersweet right now. I'm in a gloomy little mood. Always nice to run deep. Not nice to, you know, bust out and not win. But let's focus back on the cash game. Let's see how we go. Run it up. Before we get into the session, I just want you guys to appreciate the ridiculous footage here from atop of Vegas. Myself, my girlfriend Nicole, and my buddy Justin here, you'll see later in this video, we took a helicopter ride over Las Vegas and over the Strip, and I think the scenes are just incredible. What's also just as incredible as these views and scenes from atop of Las Vegas is the action from this session. All you need to know is that things get crazy, and it's not your typical 2-5. Without further ado, let's get into it. Strap in, everyone. One of the first interesting hands with ace-jack offsuit and the hijack, there is an under the gun open to $20. Plus one makes the call, low jack to my right makes the call, and I'm not going to go anywhere with all this action. I call, and small blind calls as well. Multi-way, the flop comes ace-6 rainbow. What an incredible start to the session. Action unfortunately checks to me, and multi-way with trips here, I think I'm just way ahead, even though we are playing multi-way. So I throw a very small bet this time of $25, and only the small blind makes the call. So we've definitely thinned out the field, going heads up to a turn, which is the jack of diamonds. Very nice sight to see here. It definitely seems like he has an ace-x holding given his call on the flops. So when he checks to me, I'm going to size up larger. I'm going to size up to $115. And now it does confirm my suspicions of an ace-x holding, as he just makes the call for 115. Calling a large turn bet definitely narrows his range. We're off to a river. The river is the 3 of clubs, total Brick City card for us. And when he checks to me, I think this is a really good time to overbet, as I did narrow his range to trips here. I don't think most players will be able to fold trips too often, so let's just go for max value. I overbet to a sizing of $500. Hot start here at the 2-5 game, and he goes into an eternal tank, it seems. It looks like he really wants to call after going deep in the tank and thinking about the situation for over 2 minutes, but ultimately he just folds and shows us the case ace. Wow. Did not expect that here at the 2-5 streets, but really great fold from him. Not sure how we got away from that one. Maybe our sizing was just a little too much, but he ends up getting away from it. Nice fold. Following that hand, we improve to pocket queens in the cutoff. There is a +1 open to $20. Action on to me now. Definitely going to size up for a raise, and I go 3x to 60. Action onto the big blind, who thinks for a while, and it looks like he wanted to 4-bet, but ends up only making the call for 60, which is a really interesting sign and tell. Seems like he has a stronger hand than normal, but not strong enough to go for the 4-bet. Now the +1 does the 4-betting herself, and she sizes to $195. With pocket queens here, we certainly aren't going to be folding. We're both playing extremely deep for this game, so I make the call, and the big blind comes along as well. So going 3 ways in this 4-bet pot. Let's see a clean run out. The flop comes ace-king high. Yep, that is not going to do it for us. Surprisingly, action checks to me. And yeah, just one of those boards that we don't even want to bluff into. I check this one back. The turn is now a jack. Big blind checks. This +1 player now puts in a bet of $300. I can't think of a single hand that I beat in this spot, given how the action has played. So I fold rather quickly. The big blind ends up folding as well. And now this +1 player shows us pocket 8s. Takes it down with pocket 8s. Didn't expect that, but nice hand. Unfortunately, lost all of our profit from the first hand played. In the next spot with ace queen of spades in the cutoff, there is a low jack open to 20 and definitely going to size up for another raise with this premium. I raise it up to $60, folds around to the low jack. He makes the call. Going to a flop of 10, 9, 8, 2 clubs. When he checks to me, I think I can go either way with a continuation bet or a check, given that there isn't really a spade on the board and that this just smashes him more often than not versus me. I'm going to check this one back with 2 overs and a gut shot straight draw. When the turn comes the magical jack of clubs, flush does get there, but we do improve to a straight. He checks again for a second time and confident my hand is good right now. I size to $75 and he makes the call for 75. Let's just try to fade a club, please, one time. The river is a 3, black 3, but it's the spades variety. He checks to me on a total brick and I'm going to size up and bet again. We bet $140. This player just folds the 7 of spades face up for the lower end of the straight. Once again, running into players making nice folds. I must have some sort of tell or something, just giving away free information, letting people fold cheaply. Hand after that, it's a fun one when we pick up 5, 6 of clubs in the small blind. There's an under the gun strat also playing 2, 5, 10. It's a 4-way limped pot here. In the small blind, we definitely want to see a flop. Don't need to bloat it up out of position with a marginal hand. 4 ways to a flop. When the flop comes 3, 4, 8. 2 clubs, yeah. We have the open-ended straight flush draw. What a sight. I decided to lead into the field here in this limped pot. Definitely going to try to build a pot now. I lead for $30 and we only get 1 player to make the call, 1 participant in this hand. We're off to a turn which comes the deuce of diamonds. We have the nut straight. Can it get any better than this? Since we were playing a limped pot, the size of this pot isn't big enough and I want to size to 150% over the pot. So I size and bet out $150 as we're both playing super deep. I want this pot to get a lot bigger. He ended up making the call for $150. Let's go. We're off to a river. Hoping to see a blank. The river is the ace of spades. So still we do have the nuts. Second nuts would be a 5. If he did have a 5, that would be quite incredible. So once again, I'm going to size up and bet really large. I think our line just looks really bluffy a lot of the time. And if we cooler him, if he has a 5, then that would be really cool as well. So I size up to $600. He thinks for a little bit and with the $600 bet, and I'm just sort of praying that he has a hand that can call this big of a bet. And ultimately he does make the call. We show our 5, 6 of clubs with pride. We have the nuts. And he said he had a 5, so that's pretty crazy. If he did have a 5, big cooler for him, but we play one of the biggest pots of the night so far, and we take it down. Our chip stack is building. Nice chip stack, dude. What the fuck is this? What the hell is this, buddy? We've got some bigger pots coming our way, and in this one, it's no different with ace-jack offsuit. We're in the hijack, and there's an on-the-gun straddle once again playing 2, 5, 10. There are 2 limpers to me, and I'm going to put in a raise this time to $50. The on-the-gun straddler makes the call. The +1 player makes the call for 50. And now the second limper in the low jack to my right, he rips it all in for $240 total. Well, we just got out of playing a tournament earlier today and facing a 24 big blind shove. I think ace-jack is a borderline call. And considering we're in position, let's just go for it. I think him over limping and then now just ripping it all in just makes very little sense. I don't know what's going on, but ace-jack offsuit is going to be a call, so I go for it. I make the call for $240 total. And oh boy, action is building. The on-the-gun player and +1 come along as well. So we've got a pretty big pot already brewing. We're going to a flop 4 ways with 1 all in. When the flop comes jack, 6, deuce, 2 clubs, this is one of those flops that we're just never going to get away from with top. We're loving this spot. Action checks to me, and with a dry side pot, I'm going to throw out a bet this time for value for $400. Player under the gun tanks and ends up folding. Now, player in the +1. He decides to come along. He's got about $2,000 deep in his stack, and you know what? If we see a brick turn, we just want to go for all of it. So he ends up making the call, and we're off to a turn 3 ways now with a really big pot brewing. When the turn is the 3 of clubs, this is getting pretty spicy. He checks to me, and on the card that definitely favors him better than me, we do have the ace of clubs to improve on for the nut flush. So with top, nut flush draw, I think in the past I certainly would bet this, but now I think this is just a much better spot to exercise a check. So I go for it, check back for some pot control, and with a pretty strong hand and strong draw, let's just improve on the river. The river is a 10, not a great one to see, but you know what? We still have top pair and top kicker. We block the nut flush, and this time he assembles a bet, and it looks like it's a big one. It's $800, and we just aren't folding. We have top. We block some flushes. Let's go for it. If he has a set, so be it. Good for him, but I just make this call fairly quickly. He announces pocket fours as a bluff. We win a big one as I show my hand. The low jack player, who was all in from the start, shows ace king. So we were pretty much dominated and see a really great flop for us. And just like that, we ship another monster pot our way. Things are going well right now for us.
Yeah, this was the big one that we wanted to see.
The action doesn't stop there though. This time we have pocket threes and +1. I decide to limp. The button limps as well. Small blind, big blind are in as well. So it's a 4-way limped pot. Can't get that big, right? Well, the flop comes Jack 8-3 rainbow, bottom set. Great flop for us. Action checks to me, and I'm gonna throw out a bet that's a little bit bigger than the size of the pot. It's $25. Let's start building something big here. So with $25, we get one participant in here to call. He's on the button. Heads up, out of position. The turn is now an 8. Well, we've got Boat City for us, and at this point, I'm just praying he has an 8 for trips or can get sticky with the Jack X holding. So we bet $100, and for $100 to our surprise, he makes the call. So this is gonna be fun. We're off to a river, which is an inconsequential 4 of diamonds, total brick here, and what are we gonna do here? Out of position, we have a full house. Our hand is obviously very good. And it seems like this is a fun table where people are calling down lights. So let's experiment. I bet 6 black chips, sizing way up here. I think I can sometimes have a lot of bluffs, but in this specific table, when people aren't folding, definitely going to be betting with strong hands. And he thinks about it for not too long before tossing in a call. Let's go. We show our full house, expecting our hand to be good, and we scoop. What a hand. Turned a 4-way limped pot into a $1,500 pot. So on this table, we have Mariano, Wolfgang, and our buddy Justin all to my left. Drinks are flowing, shots are flowing. You know we're gonna be in for a good time halfway into the session, and we stumble upon this game. In the next spot, we've been running super well so far. We pick up ace-8 offsuit on the button. There's an unleon straddle, and there is a cutoff player who limps. We're in position. I think I can go either way with a limp or raise, but given table dynamics, I just go for a raise. A little bit light. I size to $50. Action folds to this cutoff player who seems to be playing a lot of hands, and he makes the call. So we're going in position. The flop comes ace-10-3 rainbow. He checks to me, and on this board, obviously with top pair, we love it. I'm going to exercise a check here in this spot. I think that our kicker isn't too great to get 3 streets of value, so we're off to a turn. The turn is a 6. He checks again for a second time, and time to start getting some value somehow. I bet $65, and he actually ends up making the call. The river is now an 8. Well, now we've stumbled into 2 pair, and I've seen this player be fairly sticky. He checks for a third time, and I'm just gonna bomb it. These big bets seem to be getting called all night, so why not go for another one? I bet out $500, just really large, honestly. And little do you know, this player seems to be a non-believer. He's sick of it, of these big bets. He makes the call and tries to put in a stand. And yeah, we show 2 pair. That hand's gonna be good. When I show, he showed me he had 3-4 of diamonds for bottom pair. Seems like our check on the flop may have worked. Gotten a little tricky there, and we get paid. Hand after that with king 10 offsuit in the cutoff, I open it up to $20 when action folds to me, and we only get one player in the big blind. Our buddy Justin makes the call, and he doesn't just make the call, he makes the call blind, and he's actually announced that he's playing this entire hand blind. Hasn't looked at his cards yet, so we're off to a flop. And the flop is just king 10-3 rainbow, just one of those sessions where smashing everything, it seems. And he leads into us for $50. Considering that he's playing his hand blind, I'm just going to be open and honest with him, and I ask, hey, do you want me to raise or call? And he tells me to call, so with two pair, yeah, we're gonna just make the call, and if he continues blasting off, so be it. I call, and the turn is another 3. We're still playing against any 2 cards. He hasn't looked yet. He bets $100. Once again, I ask, want me to raise or call? Because obviously, folding is out of the question. He says call, and once again, I call for $100. I mean, there's no real great way to play this here when your opponent is betting, haven't looking at his cards yet. And when the river is a 9, he bets for a third time, triple barrels blind, $150. Like I said, we're buddies. I'm not really going to go after him, especially given all the action he's providing right now. I just call for $150. I show him my 2 pair. And now time for him to reveal his cards. Looks like he needs a 3 to win this hand. And he shows us 6-4 offsuits. Pretty close of a sweat to see a 3, but 6 high is no good. We take this one down. Pretty bizarre hand to talk about. This table is crazy action, as you can tell. We pick up pocket 9s in middle position. There's an on-the-on straddle here. So when the player to my right, +1, opens it up to $40. Here, I think I can go either way with a call or 3 bets. Going to be leaning more towards the aggressive side as everyone's playing super deep stack now. I 3-bet to $120. Facing this 3-bet now, Mariano wakes up with the hand it seems. He puts in that cold 4-bet to $375. Not loving it, but in the cutoff, Justin decides that he wants to play his cards as well, cold calling the 4-bets of $375. Now, the player to my right, who opened preflop and +1, he makes the call for $375. Like I said, we're playing super deep stacked, almost $5,000, $6,000, $7,000 deep. So yeah, we're not going to be folding this one. Let's see a big pot. I make the call. We're going 4 ways to a 4-bet pot, action central. The flop comes 7-6-3 rainbow. We have an overpair with pocket 9s, but we're not feeling super comfortable with it in a 4-bet pot. Action checks to Mariano, and he continues with a bet of $500. Justin comes along, makes the call for $500. Action folds to me, and I've just got to give Mariano some credit here. I don't think that we're able to call this one. We're going to let him and Justin battle it out. I fold. We're off to sweat out a turn. The turn is the king of diamonds, so this one wouldn't have been a great card to see. Mariano throws out a continuation bet again for $1,000. Justin just folds, and we get to see what Mariano had. He's nice enough to show us. He's a sicko because he flashes us queen 10 offsuit. What a disgusting hand to see. What a crazy 4-bet. Nice hand. We've got one more action-packed hand here. We have ace deuce of hearts. We're on the gun straddle. Action folds to Justin, and he's been doing some fun stuff. He raises $75, and he hasn't looked at his cards yet. So 75 blind. The big blind makes the call, and we have ace deuce. Going to be a good hand. We're going to call and come along as well against the big blind and a blind range from Justin. When the flop comes ace, ace, king, yeah, this is just another good flop for us. Action checks to Justin. He bets out $200. Big blind folds, and you know, he's been betting a lot and betting often. I'm just going to trap and slow play this one. I make the call. The turn is a 7. I check again. It's an inconsequential card. He bets out $500, and we're just not going to do anything but continue with the call. Raising doesn't make a lot of sense, and we don't really want to scare him off. When the river comes another 7, wow, we have absolutely nothing to worry about now with the second nuts. I check for a third time, letting him continue and barrel. He bets out $1,000, and we're just going to make the call here, even though it seems a little nitty with the second nuts. Sure, we can absolutely check raise to $2,000 or $3,000, but I am actually pretty interested in seeing what Justin holds. So I just make the call for 1,000, expecting our hand to be good. We show our top full house, and he later tells us he had king nines for a pair of kings. That's no good. We scoop another massive pot here in this 2-5 game, and that's about time when we rack up. Well, everyone, what can I say? We're right back at it. It's 6 a.m. right now inside the win, and I have a very exciting announcement to make. Remember that little 10K punt rebuild session and challenge that we had? Safe to say, we're done with that. Clawed out of the hole from this session. Absolutely bananas, bonkers session here. Started the session at 1 a.m., out of it at 6 a.m., and let's say it was well worth it. Let's go over the numbers for fun. Why not? We were in the game for $2,500, this ridiculous 2-5 game, and well, out of the game for 9,085. Profit of 6,585. Game was good, action was everywhere, we ran really well, and we clawed out of the hole. So hopefully you enjoyed this video. If you made it this far, I mean, this was an absolute banger. Leave a like, it always helps support the channel, it helps the channel grow. Subscribe if you're new, it's always free, and Luck Box merch. We got it. We luck boxed this session and made things happen. So thank you so much for watching this video. I'm glad you guys got some entertainment out of this, because I surely did. Hopefully you have a good one. Thanks for watching the video. See you guys next time.